Namaste, everyone, and welcome to today's yoga session. Let's all begin as usual in a comfortable seated position. Find a position where you can keep your spine straight, shoulders relaxed. There should be no tension in the body or minimal tension. No muscles are clenched. Breath is free flowing and relaxed. Every body part is active. What does it mean to keep every part of the body active? Simply being aware of the part, being aware of that body part, feeling the sensations there, consciously making sure that the muscles aren't tightened and relaxed. And if there is weight on that body part, or if that body part is on some other body part, which means there is a tendency for it to be passive or some other part to be carrying that weight, then we engage that body part so that it's holding its own weight. For example, right now my palms are placed on my legs, but if I just let my arms be passive, the weight of my arms has to be um, borne by the legs. Whereas if I engage my arms, when I say engage, just becoming aware of it, all the fingers and the palms and everything, a sense of lightness comes into those body parts. And now I'm no longer putting the weight of my hands on the legs. They're simply placed there, but the hands are taking care of their own weight. So, in such a way, just examine all the different parts of your body and see if you can make all parts active. In the Yoga Sutras by sage Patanjali, he prescribes the 8 limbs of yoga, which is the original Ashtanga Yoga. We often practice the asanas, which is the 3rd limb, and the pranayama, which is the 4th limb. As we continue further, every limb deals with subtler and subtler subjects. It's good to know the direction in which we are headed. He describes asanas as sthiram sukham asanam, which means asana is any posture where you have the 2 qualities of sthiram and sukham. Sthiram means stillness. Sukham can be roughly translated as pleasantness. So now let's apply this yardstick to every posture that we practice. While being in the pose, can we achieve a state of stillness? This can also be thought of as total dissolution of the body. You're not feeling one part of the body more than the other, but just engaging the whole body as one, no matter which pose we are practicing. So, in the upcoming sutras, he also mentions what happens when you practice like this. A phenomenon called Ananta Samapatti Bhyam, which means the body and the space around us, it merges. So there is no feeling of a separate body, but it merges with the space around. That is the ultimate objective of all these poses. Practicing all the poses diligently, one can reach that state where they do not feel the weight of the body, or they do not feel the body as a separate entity than the rest of the space, which is why the yogis are said to have powers of levitation and other such powers. So, this is simply a direction or a pointer. When we practice the poses, we must make all the body parts active and keep coming back to that place of stillness. Patanjali also prescribes the two different tools that we have in order to move forward on the path of yoga: Abhyasa and Vairagya. Abhyasa doesn't simply mean a regular practice, it does mean that in one angle. But Abhyasa also means the continuity of practice. And this continuity refers to the feeling of presence or stillness that we feel during the yoga session. Can it be continued after the yoga session as well? And can you abide in that until you come back on the mat again? So, this continuity from 1 hour to the other, one day to the other, is what Patanjali refers to as Abhyasa. And then the other tool that we have is Vairagya. Vairagya means, can be roughly translated as a state of detachment or detached observation, non attachment, some people say. This can be applied in many different ways, but let's take postures for example. Right now, we're all seated. Maybe there is some discomfort in the hips. Maybe there is some numbness in the legs. What is the degree of my identification with this discomfort or these body parts? The mind can make up stories like, oh, my leg is hurting, my hips are hurting, my leg is asleep, I need to move, I need to adjust, this is too much. On the other hand, I can simply take my attention to the hips, and whatever sensations I'm feeling over there, I can watch them merely as sensations which have arisen without labeling the sensations as good or bad, and then watch them until they dissolve or pass away. So, in this way, instead of personalizing and thinking in terms of I, there is a larger awareness which can watch everything objectively. So these two things go hand in hand, and they can be applied to our yoga session today as well. Abhyasa can also refer to your state of presence throughout the practice. Are you fully here and now, or is there a tendency to get lost in thoughts? Even right now, as you hear my words, there might be a commentary going on in your own mind. The point is not to stop that commentary, but the point is, are you fully engaged in that commentary? Or can you just hear my words, hear your own commentary, hear your own mind, and still be present in the moment, knowing that all of this is just the nature of the mind? These subtle differences, these subtle changes in identifications is what we are trying to work on and establish ourselves in during our practice. So, with these thoughts and ideas, with these pointers in mind, let us try and establish ourselves in stillness and silence for the next 1 minute, simply watching the breath go in and out and trying to be as much as possible without getting drawn into thoughts or reactions. The goal that we are trying to achieve is not somewhere far away from us. It's not somewhere in the distant or even in the near future. It's always right here, right now. The only question is, are you that right now? Are you identified with the larger awareness, the background awareness, the feeling of inner spaciousness, the witness? Or in this moment, are you identified with the human being, the form, the name, the story, the past? Every moment This choice is available to us. Now let us move into five different, five deep breaths as we energize the body for the posture practice. So take deep and long inhalations. You can even hold the breath inside the body for just a moment when you finish the inhalation. And then when you want to exhale, make sure that you're emptying the whole lungs and belly. All the air comes out. So in this manner, take your time and take five deep breaths. Once you finish, just let go of this doing, let go of this manipulation of breath. Once again, let the body breathe on its own and notice the difference when we are engaging the mind into doing some action versus just being and watching the body do whatever it's doing. You can bring your palms together in front of your chest and rub your palms. Cup your eyes, massage the eyes gently, and blink open your eyes, looking into your palms. You can relax your hands. So, we'll be practicing some postures now, but all the things that I said about the qualities of a posture, sthiram sukham, and also achieving that state of ananta samapattibhyam, where we feel the dissolution of the body or the body merging with the infinite. So those things can be achieved by paying very deep attention to what's happening every moment as we get into a pose. So that can happen at different levels. For example, right now I'm fully present in the moment and I do a posture, something like this. That is one level of presence. But another can be where I'm really mindful about everything. When I place my hand down, it's not like I'm just letting the hand be there. I'm still keeping the hand engaged. The other hand comes up. I'm aware of the fingers, all the different body parts. I'm aware of the whole body at the same time. And it also involves being very mindful of when to stop. So, for example, I can just go like this. This is not a big deal because I'm pushing my body a little bit. But right now, it's hard for me to feel the whole body as one whole thing. And I'm emphasizing this part too much by overstretching it, whereas this part of the body has kind of become passive. So I've gone way too much. Over here, it's hard for me to feel the dissolution of the body because there is duality in the body. I am one part is passive, one part is more active. So these are the things that you can pay attention to. It's almost like when I start going into a pose, I'm so deeply and minutely aware that I'm allowing the body to go. And now I just stop when the body says, this is it. If I go any further, there will be more and more bifurcation or duality in the body. So, but being here, I can feel that oneness. The whole body is active. So, those are the things we will be paying attention to. So, like I said, the degree to which we pay attention to it and the different angles from which we see it can be many. So, let's begin slowly, but this is what we'll try to do in today's poses. So, I feel like we can start on our feet, come up to a standing position. And the first thing that we can do is just simple twisting of the spine. So in the twisting, you can notice that, like for example, if we do Kati Chakrasana, the twisting, you can push too much and twist, which is something that we do generally, but then there will be bifurcation in the body. So let's begin with a simple exercise like this. Just keep your feet shoulder width apart. Bring your arms at shoulder level. Now inhale. As you exhale, start twisting along the spine, but stop when the body stops. Because I can, like over here, for example, I can go further, but then my arms are not in line anymore, and I'm putting in all this effort, and I'm engaging my feet more. So, like, there's all these different things happening, and I lose the oneness of the body. So, the simple practice is inhale, exhale, twist, and then just stop when the body when you feel that there is effort coming into the picture. Keep breathing. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, twist on the other side. Now, while we are doing this, if you feel like the shoulders are hurting because of keeping your arm up like this too much, you can just place the fingers on the shoulders. Keep coming back to the center and twisting on the other side. You can also just release your arms. That's okay. The twisting is happening at the spine level, but try not to put in effort where, oh, I have to hold my hands like this. So that's what we're trying to do. Now just inhale, exhale at the twist. Inhale, exhale at the twist. And see if you can twist further with your neck. So just watch me once. From this place, I start twisting, but the body stops here. But with my neck, I can continue. Maybe look at the hand which is going back. Keep moving like this. One more round on both sides. And now release. So I hope you were able to notice some difference in the way we practice this versus our general way of practicing postures. Let's try a few different poses and apply the same principle. So come to the top of your mat and just take a step back with the left leg. Keeping the heels in one line, back foot at an angle, and the hips are parallel to the side of the mat. Now over here right now, First, see if you can feel the whole body as one. You can notice that if I increase the distance between my legs too much, then that oneness will be lost because there will be a lot of effort in my legs to hold the body that way. So find that comfortable space. Now let's practice triangle pose. Arms up, palms out. Now you can slightly lean forward, that's okay, but just go as much as the body allows and just stop there without losing that oneness. Now over here, you can see there might be a tendency for either of my arms to be passive or legs for that matter. Can I engage everything equally? And then slowly come back up. Release the hands and turn your feet over to the other side so we can practice on the other side. Now think about the principles of Sthiram and Sukham. While being in the pose, are you feeling still and pleasant? Can you be in that pose forever? Or if not forever, maybe for a few minutes comfortably? If your answer is yes, then you have stopped at the right limit. But if you feel like, no, there is some effort happening somewhere, I can't stay here for a few minutes, then it means you've gone too much into the pose. See if you're able to breathe comfortably. Are you aware of the body parts that are not in use? For example, the top of your head or the lower back. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, relax. So now, keep your feet parallel to each other. Intertwine the fingers behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades gently, opening the chest. And go into a gentle backward bend, looking up. Comfortable breathing. Once again, check. Is your head passive right now? Are your arms passive? And slowly inhale, come back up. So now we will practice a round of sun salutation. Come to the top of your mat. But just watch me once. When we begin with our backward bend and then forward fold, then when we take a step back, often we just go like this and place the leg down or something. But during this transition, can you be more mindful? Not just dropping your leg down, but engaging it, keeping it active. And even when this leg is down, is there equal effort happening in both legs? So these are the things that we will think about today as we practice the sun salutation. And during any posture, do not push yourself to the maximum limit. Do not put too much effort. In fact, try to be in a state of no effort at all. So let's begin. First, lift your arms up. Do a gentle backward bend. Stay here for a few seconds. The whole body is active. The bend is happening right from the heels all the way up to the fingertips. Even the front part of the body is active. And you will know that you're doing it correct If there is no urge to get out of this pose, you can just comfortably be here. If you think this is too much, maybe reduce the backward bend. Find that comfortable spot. Continue to feel that connection between your feet and the earth. Now, slowly we move into a forward fold. But this transition is very important. Can you go at the same pace as you go down? And even when you go down, keep the body active, looking towards the knees. Comfortable breathing. Now, let us take our right leg back. Take a big step, but slowly. Try to control your movement as much as possible. Place the knee down, but keep the toe tucked in. Just breathe. At every point, keep checking your body, lifting the chest, gently sinking the hips down. Let's take the hands off the floor, palms over the head. Very gentle backward bend happening over here. More important is, notice what's happening in your legs. Are both the legs equally engaged? Maybe there is a strong sensation on the hips. Keep breathing. What about your upper body? Is the weight on the legs? Try to engage and keep your upper body active all the way to the fingertips. Try not to clench any muscles. Slowly bring the hands down. Lift the right knee. Take the left leg back and find your plank position. Now, plank is also a great way to see where we are with these principles. Because there is gravity, of course, there is an effort happening naturally. But the more you relax into it, the more you engage the back of the body, which is not active right now. See how you can bring more and more lightness. And of course, we need not push. So if you need to, you can just place the knees down, take a break if you need to, and just breathe comfortably. Can you engage the back of the legs? Now we'll move into the side plank. If you don't know the side plank variations, let me tell you first. So all of you can place your knees down. So side plank or Vashishtasana, you can place one knee down like this, and then the other leg is on the side. So this is a variation with support. If you want to do the full pose, one leg stacks over the other, and you can go like this. So we'll move into the side plank now. First on the left side, inhale. Notice how the left hand is so much more engaged than the right. Exhale, come down. Inhale, move to the other side. Can you engage the left side of the body, which is passive right now, maybe? Exhale, come back to plank. And now we'll place the knees, chest, and chin down. See if you can try to put them down at the same time. Breathe. As you inhale, slowly sliding up in Bhujangasana. Untuck the toes. Just breathe. Again, a good opportunity to see the legs shouldn't be passive over here. Keep the entire legs active. Glutes, thighs, shins, even your belly, which is resting on the ground. Keep it engaged. The more you engage the different individual body parts, the more lightness you will feel. Now start to push yourself up. You can tuck the toes if you want. As we go into downward facing dog, option to take a step forward with the feet. Reaching the heels down. Tailbone is reaching up towards the ceiling. And slowly lift your right leg up. Bend the knee. Bring the right foot forward as much as you can. And then you might have to walk your right foot forward. Place the left knee down. Keep the toe tucked in. First, try to find that balance over here where all the body parts are engaged. For example, there might be a tendency of putting the weight on your fingers. See if you can just use your upper muscles to keep the weight, not supported on the hands. And then we take the palms off the floor, palms together over the head. Breathe. Again, try to keep your upper body active. It's holding its own weight. You're not letting the weight fall down on the legs. Slowly bring the hands down. Lift the knee. Take a step forward with the left foot, but try to maybe take smaller steps and then try to come up with control. So we meet in the forward fold first. Stretch your arms out. And then lift your body up. Come up. Do a gentle backward bend. Stay here for a few seconds. See if the whole body is active from the heels to the fingertips. And as you finish, exhale, prayer pose. Release the hands. Let's take a few moments here. Increase the distance between your feet. Just breathe. Now, this way of practicing postures that we just did, it might feel like more effort right now. It might feel like more engaging of the muscles because we are holding for longer, we're going slowly, but it's moving in the in the direction of effortlessness. And if you continue practicing this way, you will start noticing that. You will start feeling that dissolution and that lightness coming in because we are actively assessing the whole body at every point, and we are making sure that no part of the body is passive in any pose. Every part is holding its own weight. Be it, it can be a small part like a finger, or just the whole arm, or just the whole leg. In no position is it being passive or putting the weight on the other. So, side plank is a great example. I'll just show you that example. Like right now, if I'm in the side plank, of course, I'm dealing against gravity. And so I have to engage my right arm more. But if the left side of my body is fully passive like this, so much weight has to be borne by this hand and this side of the body. But what if I make everything active? This leg, this side, this arm. So this left side of my body is bearing its own weight, and that will release the weight on this arm. So in this way, by observing all these little things, we can make these changes. So now let's practice the second half of the sun salutation. Come to the top of your mat. Just breathe. Even in this standing posture, don't just let your arms hang down. Keep everything active, even the fingers. Feel that oneness of the body that we wish to carry throughout the poses. And then when you inhale, lift your hands, gentle backward bend. When you exhale, move into a forward fold. Now slowly bend the knees, and we'll take our time, taking a big step back with the left leg, trying to go with as much control as possible. Placing the knee down, and let's take the hands over the head. Take a few moments here. Breathe and readjust. Make sure all parts of the body are active. Slowly bring the hands down. Lift up the back knee. Right leg goes back. Find your plank position. In plank, can you activate the back side of your body? The back of the legs, the back. We'll move into the side plank on the left side, whichever variation works for you. Inhale, exhale, plank. Inhale, side plank on the other side. Exhale, plank. And slowly, knees, chest, and chin down. As you inhale, sliding forward in cobra pose. Let's stay here for a few seconds. Notice what's happening with the body. Ask yourself, what is the effect of gravity as you practice different poses? Why does standing or forward fold feel different than this pose? Why is there more effort when I'm doing side plank versus when I'm doing cobra pose? Slowly start pushing yourself up, engaging the whole body, finding your downward facing dog. And gently lift your left leg up, bend the knee, bring the left foot forward as much as possible. Walk it forward if you need to. Place the right knee down. Take the hands over the head, palms together. Slowly bring the hands down. You can lift the right knee, maybe take small steps, and then try to bring the leg forward with control. Stretch your arms out. Inhale, come up. Find a gentle backward bend and finish with the prayer pose. Take your time and relax. Increase the distance between the arms and the legs. Just come back to that place of oneness. This exploration with postures and practicing it this way, it takes time to adjust to it. We are simply recognizing the effect of gravity and how do we counter it. Gravity or gravitation is the force that is always pulling us down. How can we become lighter and expansive even with this force acting on us? So let us move into Malasana now. Trying the same principle. You can bring the heels in, toes out, slowly go down. Try not to let the body become completely passive, which means not all of your weight is just sinking down. So you'll have to engage the hips, engage the belly, the chest, the shoulders. So try to lift your upper body up, even when the hips are sinking down. Engage the legs and the arms as well. Comfortable breathing. And sit down now with the support of your hands. So this exploration of postures can happen in many different ways. It's important to understand what we are trying to do. We are approaching it from this side where we take everything really slow, we engage every part of the body to come to this middle part, which can also be approached from another side where we just stretch the body deeply, use effort, Just go deeply into the pose and then try to relax to find this place. But no matter which direction we come from, we are trying to find that place in the center where no matter what the pose the body is in, there is a feeling of lightness, oneness, expansiveness, dissolution of the body. And this can happen when we experience ourselves at a more and more subtler level. So let's practice this now as a form of meditation. Just sit down comfortably. Now, we feel the heaviness of the body because we think that this is all gross. For example, this right now, my leg, it feels like a solid mass when I'm using the sense of touch to assess it. But if we close our eyes and simply become aware of each body part as sensations and feeling of aliveness or prana, life energy, the more we become aware of a body part like this, you will notice that the gross identity that it had, it dissolves. You can start feeling it as subtle sensations. Because if we go at a subtler level, even literally, even scientifically, if we go deep inside the leg and if we notice the cells or the atoms, there is a lot of space over there. So the solidity is only an illusion. So as we sit in meditation right now, let us simply take our attention to different parts of the body and hold our attention there and see if you can feel any kind of dissolution, just sensations, life energy, the feeling of little particles dissolving and arising again. You can start with your left leg. Just examine, moving the attention from the hips down to the knees, to the ankles, to the feet. Now let's hold our attention there on the left foot. With your mind's eye, examine all the different angles, all the different toes, the skin in between, the heel, the sole. You will notice that the more closely you examine your foot, the more you start feeling some sensations. Now take your attention to the part of the foot which is in contact with the other leg, or maybe it's in contact with the ground or the mat, or even the cloth that you're wearing. That part which is in contact seems to be passive because you're not feeling those active sensations on the surface. But examine that part closely. Just keep your attention over there on the part which is in contact. Sooner or later, you will feel that even that dissolves. It is nothing but sensations. Let's examine the right leg now. moving from the right hip down to the right knee, down to the right ankle, and then the right foot. Keep your attention on the foot. Even if one leg is over the other, it only appears that the weight of one leg is pressing on the other. If you just hold your attention there, you will notice that everything starts to dissolve. It's nothing but sensations, movement of energy, little particles. Let's examine the rest of the body as well. From the hips, taking the attention up slowly. Examine the belly region, coming up to the chest, shoulders. Let's take our time examining the hands. First, the right hand. Move from the shoulders down to the elbows, forearm, wrists, palm, fingers. Now let's stay in the palm and the fingers, that region. Notice that the back of your palm might be in touch, might be in contact with the knee or the leg. You will notice that you can easily feel sensations on the surface of the palm, but when you take your attention to the back of the palm, because it is in contact with the leg, the sensations are not apparent over there. But closely examine that part. Feel the touch of the leg, and sooner or later, you will feel a dissolution there. You will start feeling little sensations. Let's examine the left hand now. From the shoulders down to the elbow, from the elbow down to the wrists, and then the left palm, fingers, thumb, back of the palm. Now examine your spine from the tailbone, slowly going up. Relaxed shoulders. Feel the neck. And finally, we come out to the facial region and the head region. Notice the sensations going all the way up to the crown of the head. See if you can feel a sense of lightness, a sense of upward energy. As we conclude this meditation, see if you can feel the whole body as one. Just one big energy field. See if you can feel a gentle dissolution. The whole body is nothing but sensations, particles arising and passing away very fast, every second, every millisecond. And there is prana, also known as pran in Hindi. It literally means the life force which is keeping you alive. If this energy, this life force is taken away from the body, there is nothing we can do or perceive. We will simply drop dead. And can you feel the presence of this prana in every part of the body? As we conclude this meditation and today's session, let us correlate what we learned during the postures, what versus what we are experiencing right now. This state of deep meditation where we can feel the body going subtler and subtler, where the solidity of the body goes away and we feel simply little sensations. If this same meditative state can be carried while we practice the postures, then that feeling of oneness or the feeling of merging of the body can happen. And that is the right way of practicing postures. In fact, that is the purpose of practicing postures in yoga. So it's quite an exploration, and we'll continue to explore like this in the coming classes. Let us finish today's session with a few moments of silence and gratitude. Option to bring your palms together and bow your head. Whatever we are learning or acquiring through these practices, let us share and spread that with everything and everyone that we know. Spread it all around us. I will chant the Om Shanti 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 chant. You're welcome to chant with me or just enjoy the chant in silence. Deep inhalation. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.